Adobe Spark is provided free.
Correct.
And then what else did it take in terms of technology to make this happen?
The kids have the option to use an iPad, which if schools have that availability, and these are particularly not new iPads. Some of them were older iPads that had been around that Allison decided to pull out and use for this particular purpose. It's not anything that's taxing on the devices, but it's also available on the computers because the kids have it in their single sign-on of Clever, which is the wonderful tool that we now have where everything is kind of consolidated for us to find. So the kids can simply go to Clever, click on Adobe Spark, and they log in with their school R2D2. No password, no data is kept, no real names are kept by Adobe. It's all housed with our system, so no data breaches or any kind of security issues going on there. But they can actually be creative right there at home or at school with whichever project they're working on.
So they can save their work.
It saves automatically.
Oh, it
yes.
does. Wow.
Yes.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yes.
So we're talking about Adobe Spark. Let's just take just a minute to show our viewers what that looks like.
Okay.
So route our way back that way.
So when they go to Clever, and the kids obviously all know how to get to Clever, they click on Clever and log in here, and they will open up to this page. They may open up a little bit further up on the screen, but if they click on resources, these are the resources that are available for all the students. Their screens may look a little bit different based on the school that they're in, but for the most part they all have these similar icons. They click on Adobe Spark, SP. Adobe Spark is one of 3 apps that we actually can use because on here it's as one, but they also have an option to do a graphic, which is a single page kind of newsletter or an exit slip or some sort of a response. But what they're creating at Sandy Lane is actually a web page. Do they have to do HTML? Do they have to know coding? No, not at all actually. But they can create something that flows just like a web page. Matter of fact, I used it when I was a teacher to make a mock web page for my students in the classroom because we really can't make a real web page, so this is a mock one. If they have videos, they are incorporating videos into. So you have 3 options with the Adobe Spark app. So if they click on web page, they get a very blank, open-ended start, which I love. There's no bells and whistles, there are no games, there's no badges. They don't have to be jumping or earning anything. They simply have to tell their teacher what they know. So they might be typing here in Sandy Lane as an example. Subtitle could be new student orientation, something like that. And then they're geared and guided very simply. There's no background, so if I tap on that plus button, it sends them directly to find a photo. The Sandy Lane kids are using photos they have, so they would do here, but for this particular purpose, I'll just hit find free photos. These are all Creative Commons licensed, free for the kids to use without having to cite their sources or give anybody credit, and I'll put in Apple or something here. And if it was for a school, I could put, and now they have a very professional looking front cover. Then to continue, they scroll a little further. It gives them the options to hit it's a plus button is kind of the theme when I'm doing training with Adobe. I say, okay, hit the plus button and you'll be able to figure out your options. So they can add the text, a link out to another website so they can link to someplace else they want people to see, maybe a local community thing they have at Sandy Lane they could put there. They're inserting videos, and then these 2 are just ways to format your pictures that you're including. So that's a basic little start. They can hit the share button and publish and share the link, or print it as a PDF and share it with their parents if they choose as well.
So, you know, we spend a lot of time in schools talking about testing and the need for academic achievement, and you know, I know Sandy Lane is very concerned and engaged in increasing their test scores, kind of live and die by test scores. So this seems like a lot of fun, and it doesn't really fit with that concept of just drill and skill, skill and drill.
But if you think about it, the kids are having to put in words what they're thinking. So isn't that really what we're asking them to do, is to, you know, give us back what they know. this is a good practice without being anything judging. No, there's no threatening piece to it. It's very friendly, student friendly, and fun. So they are actually having to come up with the script and have to find the pictures that go with their script. So they're working on all of those reading standards. What illustration goes with this text? What mood am I creating here? All of these things they're doing in their language arts classes are coming to fruition here in a project-based learning kind of atmosphere. So couldn't be better.
Couldn't be better. So what are some other ways that you would suggest to teachers that Adobe Spark could help them further their academics in their classroom?
I would primarily for the older students who have it's keyboarding, so there's a limitation there for the younger ones. They would need a little bit more keyboarding practice than the older students, but they could be using it for any kind of fourth grade field guide or a science reflection, or they could be writing a story. They could be doing a book report. They could be using it for math reflections, any kind of writing or thinking that they may do in a journal or on paper, they could simply do with the typing. Not to replace anything that the curriculum is asking them to do, but this could be just another option.
Well, a vehicle to help deliver the
Correct.
curriculum, because the curriculum are the standards.
Exactly.
Right? All right, so we're going to take a quick break and come back and learn more about Adobe Spark. I hope you'll join us when we hear from the kids at Sandy Lane on their interaction with Adobe Spark.